Alright, here's another math video lesson with me, Mr. Thompson. Here we're going to be talking about putting rules or putting equations into gradient intercept form. So when we have an equation, we want to get it into gradient intercept form. What we'll have is an equation that is not in gradient intercept form. You can remember that gradient intercept form looks like this: y equals mx plus b. This equation is clearly not in that form. This one has a y by itself and a number and then an x. So this one's a bit different. What we want to do is get that y by itself, right? So we need to get the two x's here away from the y, get it on the other side over here, right? So in order to do that, we're going to subtract 2x. Okay, the two x's cancel from the left side, and on the right we get 3 minus 2x. So our equation is now y equals 3 minus 2x. Okay, now this is more or less in gradient intercept form, but it's not quite. You can use it pretty much the same, but we like to get it just like this one with the m, with the number times x in the front, and then the b. Now, in order to do that, in order to swap the order of these numbers, what we need to do is change our subtraction to addition. So as we've done before, subtracting is the same as adding a negative. So we turn it into addition, and then we can rearrange, because adding two things together, it doesn't matter what order they come in. Right? So we can now make that y equals negative 2x plus 3. And that's now in in gradient intercept form, y equals mx plus b. The gradient would of course be negative 2, and the intercept would be 3. Let's look at another example. This one we have 6x plus 2y equals 4. So same thing, we need to get the x's away from the y's, so we want to put the x's over here, so we're going to subtract 6x, a lot like how we subtracted 2x before. The 6x's cancel on the left, so we get 2y equals 4 minus 6x. Okay, now we can, as before, turn that into adding a negative and rearrange, so we get 2y equals negative 6 plus 4. Now we're very close. We've got the right side looks good, but we have this 2 over here. So we need to have just y by itself. In order to do that, we're going to divide by 2. And if we divide on the left, we need to divide on the right. And so the 2's cancel out on the left side. And then we need to work out what we do with this. We have negative 6x plus 4 divided by 2. Now remember, now this 2 is dividing the whole thing. When we have a fraction like this with some addition and stuff like that on the top, this all is kind of like it's in brackets. So that 2 is going to divide into both the 6, the negative 6x really. The 2 is going to divide into this term over here and this term over here. It needs to divide into both. It's a little bit like the distributive property. So negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. And then the x comes along for the ride. And then 4 divided by 2 is 2. Okay, so now that's in slope-intercept form. Very nice looking. It's easy to see this, the gradient intercept form, that is. The gradient here is negative 3, and the intercept is 2, so it would be very easy to graph. Right?